Alex and Jenna had left their old lives behind, eagerly looking forward to a fresh start on the West Coast. Packing up their old Honda Civic, they embarked on a road trip that spanned the vast expanse of America. Despite the tedious hours of driving, they enjoyed every moment of their journey. However, their adventure took an unexpected turn when they arrived in the wild, untamed lands of Montana. A sudden summer storm, unlike anything they'd seen, loomed overhead, forcing them to seek shelter. Jenna quickly found a listing on Airbnb, a rustic log cabin nestled deep in the dense Montana forests. "It's a bit out of the way," she had said, looking over the listing, "but it's the only place nearby." When they arrived at the cabin, they were enchanted by its charm. It sat alone, surrounded by towering pines that swayed in the wind. The hosts were away, but they'd left a note on the table, welcoming them and providing their contact information. They settled in for the night, the crackling fireplace providing a comforting presence against the storm that raged outside. They fell asleep, the rhythm of the rain on the roof and the howling wind lulling them into a deep slumber. Sometime past midnight, Alex was jolted awake by a faint knock. He glanced at Jenna, still sleeping peacefully, and decided not to wake her. Creeping to the door, he peered through the peephole. 3 figures stood in the storm, their faces obscured by masks. One wore a clown mask, its painted smile horribly out of place in the storm. The others wore featureless white masks, their expressions impossible to read. His heart pounded in his chest as he backed away from the door. "Car trouble. Can we come in?" The voice was soft, the tone pleading. Alex hesitated, his instincts screaming at him that something was wrong. His fear was confirmed when one of the figures raised a hatchet and brought it down on the door. Alex rushed back to the bedroom, his mind racing. He woke Jenna, quickly explaining their situation. They pushed a heavy dresser against the bedroom door, praying it would hold. They called the local authorities, the operator promising to dispatch a unit to their location. But with the storm and their isolation, help would take time to arrive. For hours, they sat in the bedroom, listening to the unsettling sounds of the intruders ransacking their temporary haven. The laughter and chatter of the strangers was distorted, sounding like a chorus of distorted echoes. They sounded like they were enjoying the chaos they were causing. Finally, the noise stopped, replaced by an eerie silence that was somehow even more unsettling. They waited in the dark, listening to the sounds of the storm outside. When it became clear that the strangers had left, Alex decided to investigate. With a heavy fireplace poker as his only defense, Alex pushed the dresser away and slowly opened the door. The cabin was a wreck, furniture overturned, windows smashed. But there was no sign of the intruders. He breathed a sigh of relief, cut short by the sight of the living room wall. "We'll be back," was scrawled across it in a dark, sticky substance that looked ominously like blood. The terror of the situation crashed over him like a wave. They weren't safe here. Alex ran back to Jenna, who had already started packing up their things. "We need to leave, now," he said, the urgency in his voice making her move faster. They grabbed what they could and raced to the car. The storm had passed, leaving behind an unnerving silence. Alex turned the key in the ignition, expecting the worst, but the engine roared to life, and they sped away from the cabin. The adrenaline of their escape faded as the sun began to rise, and they pulled over at a truck stop. Alex called the police again, providing them with an update. They assured him that they were investigating the cabin, but there were no leads on the masked strangers. Jenna clung to Alex as he hung up the phone. They were safe for now, but the terror of the night hung over them like a dark cloud. The words, "We'll be back," echoed in their minds, a haunting reminder of the danger they'd escaped. Despite the fear, they resolved not to let this experience define their new beginning. They continued their journey, leaving Montana far behind them. But the memory of that night lingered, a chilling reminder of the terror they'd faced. The road to their new beginning had taken a terrifying detour, but they faced it together. They'd survived a night of terror, their bond strengthened by the ordeal. The masked strangers remained a mystery, their motives unclear. But Alex and Jenna found solace in their survival, a testament to their strength and resilience. And as they drove into the sunrise, they looked ahead to their new life, leaving the terror of that night behind them. But even as they put distance between them and that remote cabin, They knew they would never forget the horror of the masked strangers.